Brunswick Stew, a dish argued over by 3 different counties and loved by all of them. From the pine woods and tobacco country of the rural South, where for nearly 200 years a single black iron pot has fed whole towns at once, stirred slow with a wooden paddle over a low and patient fire. It began as a hunter's stew, whatever the woods gave up that day, simmered down with corn and beans and tomato until the line between each thing was gone. The version we make tonight is gentler, smoked pork and chicken in place of the old wild game, but the soul of it is unchanged. This is not a stew you hurry. It thickens only with time and with patience and with the slow crush of a wooden spoon against the side of the pot. 4 servings, 20 minutes to prepare, and an hour to cook. You will need 1 pound of smoked pork and 1 pound of boneless chicken thighs, a quart of chicken broth, 15 ounces of crushed tomatoes, 10 ounces of sweet corn, and 10 ounces of lima beans. Then 1 yellow onion, 1 cup of barbecue sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of hot sauce, a half teaspoon of salt, and a single tablespoon of olive oil. First, the onion. Take a single yellow onion and chop it down into fine, even pieces. Let the knife find its rhythm. There is no rush here. This is the quiet beginning of every southern pot. The soft sound of an onion falling into pieces on the board. Now, the chicken. Into a large pot, lay 1 pound of boneless chicken thighs and pour over them a full quart of chicken broth. Bring it up to a soft simmer over medium heat and let it cook slowly until the chicken is tender all the way through. The broth turns golden, the kitchen begins to warm, and the first deep smell of the stew rises up, soft as steam. Lift the chicken from the broth. Let it rest just long enough to handle. Then pull it apart into soft shreds with 2 forks or with your hands. Every strand goes back into the pot, and with it, 1 pound of smoked pork. The smoke meets the broth. The 2 meats settle in together, and the stew begins at last to become itself. Now, the body of it. Stir in the chopped onion and 15 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Then 1 cup of barbecue sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire, and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is the old secret of the dish. Smoke and sweetness, and a clean, bright sourness, standing in for the long hours of a pit. Stir it slow and watch the broth deepen to a dark, glowing red. Then the harvest. 10 ounces of sweet corn, and 10 ounces of lima beans, folded gently into the red, a single teaspoon of hot sauce, and a half teaspoon of salt. These are the things that never change: corn and butter beans, in every pot, in every county, for 200 years. Stir once and let them settle in. And now, the waiting. Leave the pot uncovered over a low and steady heat and let it simmer for 45 long minutes. The broth gives up its water slowly. The stew draws inward and thickens and grows dark. Near the end, press a wooden spoon against the side of the pot and crush a little of the corn and beans into the broth. That is the whole trick of its body. No flour, no shortcut, only patience and a wooden spoon. No one truly agrees where it was born. Brunswick County, Virginia, swears it was first cooked there in 1828 by a camp cook tending a fire for a hunting party. Brunswick, Georgia, points to an old iron pot on the coast and a date of 1898, and the Carolinas quietly cook their own and say nothing at all. The truth is, it belongs to all of them. A poor country stew claimed by everyone who ever loved it. The first pots were wild. Squirrel and rabbit, whatever the morning's hunt had brought, simmered down with whatever the garden could spare. Corn, butter beans, tomato, and thyme. It was the food of long fires and gathered families, a way to stretch a little meat across a great many mouths. Only later, as the woods gave way to farms, did chicken and smoked pork take the place of the game. For generations, it was never cooked small. It was made in great black cauldrons, for church suppers and political rallies, for firehouse fundraisers and county fairs. Men would stir it in shifts through the night, with paddles as long as oars, never letting it stick, never letting it stop. A pot of Brunswick stew was never really about dinner. It was about the gathering, the long stirring, the waiting together. And so it is carried on, still ladled out at stew sales across Virginia and Georgia, still simmered low on back porches and farmhouse stoves, still thickened the old way, with patience and a wooden spoon. It asks for no rare thing, only smoke and corn and the humble bean and the willingness to stand over a pot and wait. So let it simmer. Let the broth draw down dark and thick. Let the smoke and the sweetness and the bright, sour vinegar fold into one another. And let the corn and the soft butter beans settle to the bottom of the bowl. Brunswick stew endured because it never tried to be more than it was. The woods and the garden and the patience of people who knew that the best things are cooked slow and shared wide. And the table, at last, is set.